Thank you very much. And I think it was really important, Jag, what you echoed at the very beginning, and that is, what is the function of forums? We often say that we've heard forums over and over again, and yet we still have a spate of violence occurring. But the fact of the matter is the discourse continues, and Detective Spencer, you're also sharing that knowledge with the public here. So it's very fortunate for all of us as members of the public to also have this knowledge base. Tracy, I know that you work with high-risk youth, and Tanvir is not a gang member. He was a young, vulnerable youth, and I'm sure you also in your line of work encounter youth that may be struggling a bit. What is the solution?
We had the RCMP come speak to us, and here in Richmond, even 5 years ago, they were making usually calls for kids who are around the age of 16, and now it's 13-year-olds. And so what we're looking at is what, through either technology or what social conditions are we creating socially? It's not an individual at home, it's the parents' fault only kind of problem, but what are the social conditions that we're creating that you feel alienated? And how do we bring them back into the collective? And how do we generate and foster a sense of community? And does that mean taking approaches in neighborhoods where we're creating community leaders and mentors for youth in communities where they're feeling alienated? And even if it's looking at solutions, it's not always the kid that's the problem. Like, what are the gaps in our society that are creating those problems, and why are those kids able to fall through those gaps? Why is there no one watching to catch them when it's, because they're youth and they're in their stages of development. So that's the type of approach that we're coming from.
We've had gang activity for several years, but in the last 6 weeks there's been an explosion of shootings. And I've heard some people touch on the cause, but I'd like to know a little bit more about from the people that have expertise, particularly the detective and JAG, and what's causing that, do you think?
So they're fighting over drug lines. A drug line basically is just 300 or 400 customers. So that's a customer base for them, and now there's so much drugs and guys selling it and not enough addicts, if you can believe that, in Vancouver. And they're killing one another over drug lines. And there's so much shooting going on right now. I was telling Indira and Rob earlier, the drug dealers and gangsters are actually paranoid to the point where they're killing people they don't even know are after them. Right? This guy kills this guy from this gang, so this gang's over here, he's going to kill me next, I'm going to kill him first. That's what's happening right now. It's just complete paranoia.
I mean, I've never heard of anybody who's ever sat down and said, oh geez, I might go to jail for such and such a period. It's just simply not a factor. Not once has that prevented anybody. Out of all the people I've met over all the years as both a community support worker, as a youth worker, as an ex-gang member, right? I mean, not once has that worked as a deterrent or anybody even considered what the potential costs are. And same thing with, organized crime behavior. I mean, for them it's cost-benefit analysis. And I mean, the sheer amount of money you're making, for most of them, I mean, death. They're willing to die for the money that they're making. You think jail's gonna scare them? No.
It seems to me today that there's